Hey guys, it's Joey once again from the technical account management team here at Equinix. And today I'm joined by my good friend and colleague David, who's here to help speak to another of our offerings, that being Equinix Metal. So in previous videos, we've talked about Fabric and Network Edge and alluded to Metal, but for an outsider, or even just for me, how would you say Metal differentiates from our Network Edge services?
Hey Joey, thanks for the intro. This is a great question. Metal is laser focused on providing server compute hardware at the speed of software. With the Metal platform, we offer enterprise-grade server hardware that can be deployed programmatically with one of our curated operating system images, or customers can bring their own OS using our custom iPXE deployment. We offer single-tenant server hardware connected to enterprise-grade networking infrastructure inside many of Equinix's data centers around the globe, with more coming online all the time.
So I suppose the first and most basic question for me after understanding a little bit more about what Metal is why would I be interested in using it?
Another great question. So here's my version of the Metal elevator pitch. The top 5 reasons why customers would be interested in using Metal are ease of deployment, security, dedicated resources, the power of Equinix's interconnection using Equinix Fabric, and the potential for cost savings by taking on some additional responsibility when compared to virtual machine as a service. Let me explain. Our teams have already done the physical building of the infrastructure, and we've wrapped it in an API that allows for easy deployment of compute and for programmatic configuration of the connected networking. Customers with sensitive data or important services will be interested in our single-tenant servers to provide the same level of security and workload separation that they've likely experienced in their own data center deployments. Unlike consuming virtual machines from a shared environment, single-tenant servers allow customers to rest assured that nobody else's workload can compromise the underlying software or hardware and extract their sensitive data. Additionally, single tenancy allows customers to ensure their most important workloads aren't impacted by other tenants' noisy neighbor workloads. Also, the Metal network is closely integrated with Equinix Fabric, so all the connectivity and interconnection options offered by Fabric can easily be added to a deployment on Metal, or Metal can be added to any existing workloads that are connected to Fabric today. Finally, by taking additional responsibility in the shared responsibility model with bare metal as a service instead of consuming VMs from a shared environment, we've seen customers reduce their overall monthly spend.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like the customer gets to sort of become their own CSP in a sense, no? I mean, between the cost savings, no longer sharing tenancy of the underlying hardware that is, managing the environment themselves, not to mention now this customer is able to get out of the business of owning that physical hardware, and along with all the liabilities, challenges, and costs associated with that. Am I missing anything else here?
That's certainly a way to look at it. The bulk of my professional experience has been helping customers design, implement, and operate on-prem or colo-based private cloud deployments. So I look at Metal as an option for customers to take a step closer to the utility consumption model that has been popularized by the rise of the cloud, while still retaining complete control over the software running directly on the physical servers. Metal is a great way for colo or on-prem customers to take one step deeper into the shared responsibility model of as-a-service offerings. They can outsource the hardware procurement and management to Equinix while still using the tools they know and love from their previous deployments. Conversely, Metal is a way for customers consuming infrastructure as a service to reclaim some control and save costs while taking on the responsibility of managing the operating system and software running directly on the hardware.
It also seems like another big advantage of Metal is being co-located or being sort of a part of our larger Equinix ecosystem. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Joey. When using Metal, customers can get easily provisioned private access to all the services that Equinix and other connected providers have to offer, since the Metal hardware is housed inside our highly interconnected IBXs around the globe. With the appropriate network architecture, customers can use Metal as an elastic resource to augment their existing deployments, or even as a replacement for their existing deployments, taking many of the server hardware support and lifecycling considerations off their plate entirely.
Can you tell me what kind of customers, accounts, or businesses are using Metal today? And what kind of functions is it fulfilling for them?
Sure. I've personally worked with a relatively wide range of customers in various verticals, from financial technology to healthcare, telecommunications to desktop as a service, and even gaming. The use cases I've seen have been as varied as the customers pursuing them, including disaster recovery, development and QA, hosting business applications, game server hosting for multiplayer titles, and I've even heard some discussions around electronic medical record application deployments.
So let's say I'm interested in spinning up servers with Metal today. What's the time to deploy look like for a new or even an existing customer?
That varies by the targeted operating system and hardware plan, but I regularly deploy Ubuntu Linux systems for customer demos in only 3 to 5 minutes. Windows and VMware ESXi can take a bit longer, but even those are up and running with the OS customized in 20 to 25 minutes.
Well, I'm convinced. In a follow-on installment of this series, how about we take a look at a basic Metal deployment like one of the demos you just described?
Of course, I'd be happy to dive in as deep as time allows.
Well, thank you so much again for your time, David. It was great having you, and I'll be looking forward to our next Metal session. As always, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.